Hello everyone, welcome to the 6-month special. Yay! Thank you everyone so much for sticking around. We have been going at this thing for now 6 months, which is super crazy. We're filming this on Friday the week before we'll be posting it, so that means that as of today we've posted our 26th out of 52 short films. This is Chris. He's been referenced a couple times before, but this is our head honcho sound guy.
I went to school with Jacob and Sadie, and I knew Sadie, but I didn't really know Jacob. But he reached out after graduation. We got in touch, and we've been working on Cardboard Island, his film. Eventually reached out when he had the idea to do these sketches to see if I could hop on and do sound for, every week or so. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And it's been great. So every week you guys shoot and edit all these sketches and then send them my way. And then I just do some pretty light sound work on them. I buff up the dialogue, add some backgrounds, stuff like that. And I just, work it into my work week and have a blast doing it.
The first sketch that we did was the leaf blower one, just picking up on the subtle sound of the flopping posters, and I was like, oh my god, that makes it so much more funny. Like, it was fine without it, but having just that little bit of flop enhanced it so much. It was such a cool moment of, oh yeah, sound design is super important.
I'm glad you noticed that. I didn't think you would. I thought I was just gonna be like under the radar. Which side is Sadie on? Can I look at you guys like this? Is that like...
No, we're both on your... Oh shit. The way that I described it to a lot of people is we've made it a very SNL styled thing where we will work on the script for either a week or even just a couple days in advance. We will spend the following rest of the week producing it, getting what we need, getting who we need. That weekend, usually on a Friday or a Saturday, we'll shoot it. Recently, the following week, I'll spend editing to give to Chris like a Wednesday or a Thursday, and then that following week, he'll have the sound design to us by like that Thursday, or sometimes even like the Friday that we post it.
It's gotten down to the wire a few times for sure.
That morning, we're piecing it together and just scrambling to be like, okay, it's good, let's post this thing. That's part of the beauty in this whole big science experiment is, okay, what can we do? If we had unlimited time and unlimited budget, sure, we could make something awesome, but when we're down to the wire of we only have a couple of hours to get this thing up, or we only have a couple of days to produce this thing, or else we're gonna fall behind.
Like $0.
And $0. What can we pull out of the deepest parts of our brain to make something that's really special? Another really fun thing is a lot of trial and error, and this has been such a fun learning process. Like, you look at even some of our earlier stuff that we've already done, I feel like you can already see the growth in not only the look but also the storytelling. Like, our first stuff was like 5 to 10 minutes long, and now we're like, we gotta get this under 4 minutes. I think it was Veep came out with a little mini documentary talking about their joke style. It's like that mile a minute thing, but having in the edit not a single second to breathe and just throwing every single joke at you, and if you happen to catch a joke, then that's great.
On you.
Yeah, and if you don't, then there's a joke literally the next second. So that we're trying really hard to do that, and I think it's really funny when you go from that to then really sad, slow, conversational pieces.
I get whiplash from week to week. Insane style sometimes. At work, or if I'm working on a freelance project. Other than this, it's like the same thing for a few weeks, a few months at a time. So when I get to kind of experiment, I remember when we first started doing these, I had said something to you like, oh, it's just really nice to just like be able to practice all this range and all this different stuff. For me, I am like relieved to have a different thing that's like the complete opposite week to week sometimes, and it gives me the chance to kind of like flex my muscles and try a few new things out, and it's an opportunity for experimentation, honing in on certain skills in the sound world, I think.
My favorite character thus far has been the detective. I made that character up as we were filming. I was like getting into it, but then I realized that was a character that I had made when I was like in middle school or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very funny and wholesome to me.
My favorite character that we've had, and he's such a small niche character, but I really love the robber. He's just instantly so remorseful,
so irresponsible.
I have two. I think my first one, an older one, it's Sadie as the news anchor in the hot dog sketch. She's just so thrilled the whole time. And you can just hear the smile in every line. It's just it's so ridiculous. One of my favorites. It's either that or Elijah in the Little Rock documentary just made me crack up so much that it like needs more appreciation.
Little Rock was one of those that I was like, this is gonna probably be my favorite sketch that I've done. Like, this is exactly how I wanted it to have turned out.
I think that highlights our process very well. Like the way that we filmed that, it just kept getting funnier to us, and we just kept, what if we did this? What if we did that? And
yeah,
it just kept going.
The scripts have turned into, it's just like, I wrote it down in my notes app the day before that we were filming. I was like, I think Elijah should say this, and it should go into this part. And we understood the basic story structure, but then going in and actually filming the documentary segment itself, Elijah would improvise something in like
45 minutes.
Yeah, it was just so much fun to have that freedom of improvisation because it's so not structured. I would shoot the shots of Sadie and Elijah, but then when I needed to be in the shot, it was Sadie doing stuff. And when Catherine was available, Catherine would of course shoot stuff, but it was very funny to be like, everyone's a filmmaker.
Grab the camera.
I get the full audio files from all of these takes that you use in the final version. So one of my favorite things to do is like pull down one of the audio files and just listen to you guys like either after a take just completely break and the whole room laughs, or like hear you guys like bouncing ideas. And it's like sometimes I'll hear like Jacob, you'll be like, oh, okay, what if you did this? And then it's just like I kind of get to be a part of that like in-person process through that. I think that's really cool.
I never thought about that. Do you actually do that?
Yeah, I did it recently. It was on Tuesday night when I was working on this past the spring sketch. I pulled down at the end when Troy's doing the whole the I Love You series. I pulled that down and I just want to listen to like how you guys did that. And it was just back and forth of Sadie and Troy saying I love you to each other. I was just sitting there listening like, this is so sweet. This is so nice. It was a sweet moment. That was one of the sweet moments. And then there's like that scene in Little Rock when Elijah starts breaking down crying. It's like I have to know what happened after this when they were shooting. So I pulled that out and I listened to the whole thing, and it's just like all clipped laughter. So you guys are just like, it's so loud.
Those shots were zoomed in because I'm in the corner pissing myself laughing. I could not keep it together. I think that really highlights the best part about doing this is that we have creative freedom to do whatever we want. We're not really on any time crunch. We have no budget. Everybody that we've had has been so collaborative and open. I think that's why it's fun, because it's like, what if? There's no like boundaries. That is like something that you don't get a lot as creatives. You don't really have that freedom a lot. So I really appreciate it.
It kind of feels like a giant play date.
That's how I'm gonna, instead of asking actors to like come over,
I'm gonna come over and play. All three of us have 9 to 5s. Because of that, we don't have the luxury of doing a whole production schedule and doing a big beefed out production. And so we're kind of forced into this place where we have to improvise and be really silly and do it non-traditionally. As fun and as silly as everything gets, there's always that part of me that's like, man, what the hell are we doing?
Especially being in the entertainment industry, like we're watching our friends be on Hulu shows, and we have friends who are like in pretty big projects and working on some pretty big things and meeting celebrities and doing all these things, and it's hard to show up sometimes. Like, okay,
do we have a script? No, we don't have a script, but we gotta do something.
I feel like this is one of those things that people talk about on the end of their career, where they're like, these were the days that I like miss.
Yeah,
because we have nothing to lose.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I love what I do, regardless of the scale or the scope of the project. I will do it for as long as I can, and I'll make sure of that. It's like, it's what occupies a lot of my free time, and I choose for it to do so. Growing up, I had like one of those, you remember those like flip camcorders? Me and my friends would just take that and we'd go out into like our backyard, and we would do paranormal activity spoofs. So it was like 3 like 10-year-olds just going crazy in their backyards, like pretending there's ghosts and stuff. And we filming as much stuff as possible. We just had a blast doing that. I think a lot of kids had that access to some type of thing that allowed them to do that, which is really cool about our age. Is like we have digital technology that makes it so accessible for anyone who's like, above the age of really like 6 to figure all that stuff out and figure out how to use Windows Live Movie Maker or whatever that software was. When it's like working with you guys, it's like I get to make movies with my friends, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. I go to work and I work on separate stuff with people I don't know, and you know, and that's fun and that's satisfying and it's a good way to keep learning and pay the bills. But I come home and I do this because it's fun.
I've recently had somewhat of a failure with a live show that I did. I didn't want to call it a failure, but I'll get into that. But it was somewhat of a failure. I remember like in the moment being like, oh my God, like I'm gonna cry. Like this is horrible. And then I kind of looked around and I was like, but everyone I love is cheering me on and rooting for me. And I woke up the next day and I was like, and I'm fine. And if that's what failure looks like, then okay, whatever. Like I survived. I did it. Like if that's your worst nightmare, then this is a pretty good worst nightmare to have. This is what riches looks like. A lot of these actors like live around us, like in our neighborhood or in New York, and we usually give them a couple days heads up. Like, you want to come over on Friday and play and film a little silly sketch? And they're like, sure. I give them a little rundown about what they're doing, but other than that, you don't really get much more context. Besides bring a couple shirts in case we want you to change. And they always show up and they always give 110%. We can't do without them.
It's so cool to be like, what scene are we filming next? Like, what are we doing next? Being able to have that collaboration where every single person's the director feels really, really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Every time you bring someone on, one of these actors on, or one of your friends on, it's like everyone knocks it out of the park. It's like they come in on a whim, and then like you've never had someone on who hasn't like, okay, got it, and like didn't do their job. It's everyone is so perfect and is rolling with the punches, and that's so cool.
It's so cool to see on the other side of things all the people who show support for the films when they come out.
You have no idea like how much your comments mean to us, especially as independent artists who are just kind of doing this, as we've said. Like it really means the world, the support that we get. It's not lost on us. Like we never take it for granted ever. We constantly are texting like, oh, we hit 100 views. We hit how many views? Like it's everything's like a huge celebration. Thank you so much for watching and allowing us to have an outlet for our creative projects, because we don't exist, especially as independent artists. We don't exist without you.
I think one of my favorite ones was on the pirate sketch with Troy, you guys and Troy. And there's like an older guy in the comments who was talking about how he just like stumbled upon this video and like it reminded him of something. It was so sweet and it was so funny. I think something that's so exciting to me is at the end of this all, at the end of the 52 weeks, whatever happens, is like now we have this collection of this work that we've all done. We can always look back on, and we'll continue to, presumably stay on YouTube. And it's lovely to see the growth, how the sketches have changed, and also just how people are interacting with them. It's really like I said, I love going through the comments every week and seeing what people are saying, and they are always overwhelmingly positive and sweet. So having that, in addition to having the collection of videos at the end of this, having all of those kind words is like so meaningful and wonderful.
On top of the sketches, we are cooking up like at least 3 feature films.
That's a big announcement. We've got
We don't have to announce it now, but just keep your eyes peeled. This is just the start.
Yes, this is just the start. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this crazy ride. Thank you guys so much for growing with us, and we are unfathomably excited to continue to grow with you guys.
Can we explode?
Yeah, I'll make us explode. I'll have us interrupt talking about exploding, and we'll all Do
you guys need help with anything?